Hello, my name is Bill and welcome to MindYourCrypto. Today I have Ankr update. If you want to save some time, go to the timestamps where I have Ankr in the price prediction, the price analysis, where I explain where it will go. If you want to sit here and of course take this journey with me, then stay for the technical analysis. You will learn some things, I can assure you that. So right now, where are we? I've drawn the Fibonacci retracement level on TradingView from this top right here, 21st May, to this swing bottom. And of course I did this in order to see a very short-term support and resistance levels. For example, here we had a U who had a reversal head and shoulders pattern. We stopped at this line almost at 0.5 Fibonacci retracement. Now we are going down. And eventually, as we move downwards, we might want to test some support levels. For the short term, guys, we got the 11 to 12 cents around there resistance line if we have to make the 11 cents as a support level. So right now, let's go to the MACD. In the MACD here, we couldn't go above this resistance line, and if we see a bearish cross here, we may go downwards even more. What we want to see here for Ankr is if we can make some higher highs, if we can stop having this lower low pattern. And of course right now we need some higher highs for the MACD as well. I don't care about the bearish cross here for the signal line as long as we are moving upwards, okay? So right now this is what we want for Ankr against USD in the 4-hour frame for MACD. Let's go for the RSI and the commodity channel index. Right now we stopped at a lower level than the previous one, and you can see that we are forming a pattern when we might go downwards all the way. If we do that, if we do this, then we will be testing new support levels. What we actually want to see is maybe if we can have an upward momentum and we can have some higher lows as well. For now it looks like we are going down. I'm not sure. However, we want to see, of course, the RSI going upwards. Let's wait and see. For the commodity channel index, it is the same, guys. We need to make some higher highs, higher lows. Eventually, commodity channel index is more sensitive to the price action. That's why you see so major movements, but the RSI is more stable. On the 4-hour frame, you can see we had an oversold situation, therefore a buying opportunity. But when we go below minus 100, we want to take profits at 5 to 10%. We want to buy here and of course take profits at 5 to 10% movement price action. But when we are in a very bearish market, this is not always the case. This occurs, this is a general rule for a good market when Bitcoin goes up, when Bitcoin is stable, or when Bitcoin goes down, but eventually not so much of a correction like it did have for the past 2 days. Okay, so right now let's see for Ankr against USDT in the 4-hour frame. According to the SL channel, we still have buying opportunity and we were above the 20-day MA, but we couldn't manage to keep it, and now we are falling down. Let's see what we will do. For Ankr against USDT, we are going to the bottom line of the Bollinger Bands. We are going all the way down. This is what happens on a bearish market, guys. You are following the bottom line of the Bollinger Bands. When we have an impulsive wave, like here, we were following the top line of the Bollinger Bands. The Bollinger Bands measure the volatility. Therefore, the higher the distance between the bottom and the top line, the higher the volatility. And you can see that we had a huge volatility and therefore a high risk. We were overextending the top line of the Bollinger Bands. Then we went back inside, overextended back inside, and now we are going to the bottom line. For the MACD in the daily frame, we need to see a bullish recross. As long as we don't see that, we might be falling further off. For the midterm, we need to see a nice bullish recross and of course a nice distance between those two lines here, the blue line and the orange line. We need the blue line to go above the orange line, but not only that, we need some further distance like that. Okay, we need a pattern like this in order to say that Ankr might have a chance for the mid term. Let's see now the RSI. The RSI keeps getting lower and lower. You can see here we are having lower lows here all the way for the RSI on the daily frame. For the commodity channel index, the good news is that we are beyond the minus 100. Therefore, we might have a buying opportunity over here. We will see about that though, guys, because we are in a very bearish market. And so the general rule here is that once we go down from this gray zone here, once we go beyond, we are having a buying opportunity because we are having an oversold situation. That is a general rule, but it doesn't always apply to everything. And of course, even when we have a very bearish market, yeah, there is a high chance that we can see it moving upwards, but not so much upwards, then falling down immediately, okay? So for now, we might have a buying opportunity. However, we should be careful. For Ankr against Bitcoin, in the 4-hour frame, we saw a bearish cross here. Therefore, we saw an underperformance for Ankr against Bitcoin in the short term. That's why we saw Ankr not moving so much upwards. Eventually, we had here an upward situation and we saw Ankr moving against. But right now, we have this bearish cross. That's why you might see Ankr not moving. When we had the Bitcoin swing, for example, Ankr didn't move as much as many other altcoins, okay? So right now, for the RSI and for the commodity channel index, what we want to see is having higher lows for them as well, for Ankr against Bitcoin in the 4-hour frame. And let's go to the daily frame to tell you that we haven't lost our position yet, as long as the 20-day EMA is above the 50-day EMA here, guys. As long as the 20-day EMA, the yellow line, is above the red line, we are still fine. But for now, we should be careful for the short term. If we don't see a bearish cross, we haven't lost anything. It is like that, guys. Like these swing highs we had, like this swing high we had 18th May, where Ankr went against Bitcoin, guys. And of course, right now we still remain our dominance. Now we need to stay as we are for Ankr against Bitcoin. It is so important for the midterm. Let's see the RSI and the commodity channel index. You can see here we are falling down. Eventually, when we go near this minus 100 for the commodity channel index, we are having a buying opportunity, or when we go down below. So for now, you can see that we stopped several times in the at the minus 100 or near to the down of the minus 100. Let's see how far we can go downwards. For now, let's go to the weekly frame and to see that yes, guys, we haven't lost our position. Yeah, the 20-day EMA is above the 50-day EMA, but we are correcting because the RSI was a little bit above. Okay, it was so much above the 70. Same here for the commodity channel index. We had an overbought situation, therefore a very risk for the weekly frame. For the daily frame, we are now looking fine. Okay, we are now looking fine. We might fall down. We don't want to see this bearish cross, because as long as we see a bearish cross between the 10-day EMA and the 50-day EMA, then things won't be looking good for Ankr, and especially if Bitcoin corrects more. So we go now to Bitcoin against USDT, guys. I believe that we will follow this top trend line, and I believe that the swing high will occur, guys. I believe for Bitcoin that the swing high we talked about will occur and will happen. So therefore, if we see a swing high, it is very possible that we stop at 41,000 USDT, maybe 44,000 USDT, around there to 46, where we are having a very, very strong resistance level. Once we go to these levels, one of those, guys, we will be going downwards. In my opinion, we will be going downwards. So I was talking about this swing high in my previous videos, and then afterwards I told you guys that I think this was not the bottom here on 19th May. I hope I am wrong. I really hope I am wrong, but that's what I believe. I believe we will be going down to 28k. If that's the case, then Ankr against USDT in the 4-hour frame, if Ankr can outperform for the short term the Bitcoin, then yes, it might move upwards more than the Bitcoin, and we might have some higher lows momentum where we can see it going and retesting the 0.618. Let's see the price label, the 12 to 13 cents. Okay, we might do that, but if we don't do that, if Ankr underperforms against Bitcoin, and of course Bitcoin stops at around 41,000 USDT, then Ankr, I don't know if it will be able to go to 13 cents. I think it is very possible, but if we keep following the lower low pattern, guys, for Ankr, you can see here lower lows and lower highs. If we keep going like this, then we might actually test some new support levels. So we need the swing high, and of course we need the momentum shift for the Ankr against Bitcoin in the 4-hour frame to go upwards, to see some higher lows and higher highs as well. Because right now, if we see them, then for Ankr it will mean that we will test the 13 cents again around there. And afterwards, you can see that this line is a very important resistance line. So therefore, we can't assume, guys, really that we are going totally upwards. Let's see for Ankr another Fibonacci retracement that I had before, guys. This one particular right here, where we draw from the top to this bottom right here, guys, from this top to this bottom, because I want to find more major resistance level for the more short term. So here we are, guys, for the more short term, the 0.618, it sits at around 11 to 12 cents, let's say. So it is very possible that if we go further upwards, we might find resistance here. But if we go and make this as a support level, we might go to 0.786, which is the 12 to 13 cents, let's say. If we go to 13 cents, then I'm not sure if we will actually go above, and of course we will break some important resistance levels, because right now we are underperforming against Bitcoin. But if Bitcoin does the swing high we are always talking about, then why not the Ankr will move and go to 12 cents, why not the 13 cents? Why I've drawn the Fibonacci retracement from this top, it is because I dropped from the top to the bottom, because I want to find important resistance levels in case we drop and go make this as support line, then we can eventually go to 12. If we make the 12 cents as a support line, then we can eventually go to 13 and so on. If Bitcoin has the swing we are about to have, because on the daily frame, guys, I always tell you that on the 30-day, when we go beyond the 30-day, the RSI, not 30-day, guys, the 30 relative strength index, the number here, when we are below this purple area, we are going upwards, and in the history we are always seeing that. Okay, we are always seeing this in the historical data, in the graph, in the RSI graph for Bitcoin. So that's why I was expecting a higher low. And of course, right now, what we want to see for Bitcoin is if we can eventually keep this pattern of higher lows and higher highs. Eventually, if we can test this line, then we go back to 41,000 USDT. So yeah, we might correct a bit for the short term, a little bit more. We might not. We will see for the next few hours, and then we can go and retest the 41,000 USDT. That's why we care. That's what we care for. We care for going a little bit lower but higher afterwards. Okay. So if this happens, then Ankr might move a little bit lower, and then it will go upwards. It needs to stop following this trend, because as you can see here, guys, for the Bitcoin, in the next swing high we had, we went upwards. We went above the 38 to 39,000 USDT. We approached the 40,000 USDT, but for Ankr, in the next swing high it had, it couldn't manage to outperform the previous swing high. So therefore, that's why I believe that we need some extra movement for Ankr, and of course for Ankr against Bitcoin in the short term to move against, to go upwards, guys. Okay, therefore, yeah, it is very possible that if we see the swing high from Bitcoin, then we will go to 12 cents. Why not the 13 cents? Thank you so much for watching. Have a fantastic day wherever you are, and of course stay tuned for many more videos. Bye.